The other thing is meditation in the mornings. So we reiterate this point again, is in a civilized society, it will soon be seen as uncivilized to not wash your brain before you meet other people. We wash our mouths, we wash our faces, but we don't wash our heart, we don't wash our mind. We just go and dump whatever state of being that we're in on whoever's in front of us. That's not civilized. Before you speak to other people, you should sit down and understand yourself first. Get yourself together before you offload whatever you're in with other people. So I think it's more something that I request of everybody at Chi Kri, students, trainees, teachers, everyone, is to meditate first thing in the morning and get yourself right first. And I mean this as much as I mean, one second, anything else I say to you is the practice of stillness before you start your day. And I promise you, I'll come back to you in a moment, I promise you this, interview or talk to anyone who's been successful at anything in their life, and I guarantee you they start their day with a peaceful mind. Whether it's reading a small book, whether it's sitting by themselves, having a quiet breakfast, having a walk, they get themselves together first. The rats get thrown in and run the wheels for everybody else. The rats. Okay? The rats on the wheels that provide the electricity for the smart ones, they just get dumped into them, they run their wheels and they come home tired. Because they're too stupid to know better. But the brainy people, they stop and they figure themselves out first. Then they start acting. Because they don't waste energy, they don't make mistakes, they're not tired, and they know what they're doing. Speak to any successful person and they're not a rat. They're a master. And the masters are in control of their minds. So start living like masters, not rats. If it means you wake up 15 minutes early and you sit down and you don't know how to meditate. Let's say you started the course, you don't know what to do. You say, no, I don't know how to meditate. No, I don't know, you haven't taught me. Fine, you know how to be still. So, 1 second. Be still. 1 second. So even if you just sat down and you just breathed in and out like your yoga teacher has taught you, or you've got a book, an inspirational book, the Gita or the Bible or whatever it is, and you read 2 pages and you sat there with the book and you closed your eyes every page, you just sat for a minute. Even if you had your breakfast slower, even if you walked through your garden for 15 minutes and with your feet on your bare foot on the grass to ground you, even if you chop some vegetables in the morning, even if you've just done something where your head is not working at the brain rate that it will be when you hit the tube, or you're rushing, you're underneath your boss's command, that window of time is quite possibly the only time you get to yourself in the day. Okay? Are you a puppet or a master? When you start your day, are you at the whim and will of your children, your partner, the television, the news, the boss? When do you get your time for your soul? Unless you, and this is why I say morning, nothing I say is nonsense and just out just for the sake of repeating, and I am going to come to you.
It's okay.
I am. But the morning time, before you eat and after you've got out of bed and after you've washed your face, is the only time you can guarantee to fit in because you haven't engaged yet. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You haven't engaged with anyone yet. Why do yogis always meditate at 4 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m.? It's because the world has not begun yet. Nothing has happened in the energy of the society even. It's too early. So they're with the fresh, neutral energy and they begin like that. Now I'm not saying to get up at 4 and meditate, because I don't. I meditate whenever I get up and then I start with that. But that principle has to be part of your existence. Now put your hand up if you're already doing it. Clear up in the sky. Right. Every day, 5 times out of 7 days, who's doing it? 5 times out of 7 days. 2, 3, maybe what is it? A fifth of you? Put your hands down, thank you. Maybe 1/5 of you are doing that. What are the rest of you doing? Tell me. Put your hand up and tell me what else you're doing. How does your brain start?
Right.
Like a rat. What else? So what do you do? So what are you guys doing when you wake up in the morning? What do? You roll out of bed, you wash, and then what do you do? Run out the door. Do you even have breakfast? Who doesn't have time for breakfast in the morning? Put your hand up. Okay, thank you. At least there's only 3 of you not eating. This is what I'm talking about. The world is set up for rats to make the bosses money. It's not set up for your health. It's not set up for your health, your security, your happiness, your spirituality, your creativity, nothing. Nothing. It's set up to make some very, very big people a lot of wonga out of your expense. Say no. And if you can't say no because it means you're going to get sacked, go to bed 15 minutes earlier. That's all. Switch the news off earlier. Put your phone down earlier. Eat a little less, a little earlier on. Eat a little less, period. But get to bed so you have that 15 minutes. And if you don't have that 15 minutes in the morning, it's only your fault because you haven't organized your shit properly. It's your fault that you don't have peace. Swallow it. It's no one else's, by the way. Now, my job is, you might say, Neil, you're a yoga teacher, you can do what the hell you want to do, right? I've had other jobs. I remember once I ran a juice bar in central London for 6 months, and I had to be there in the morning, cutting vegetables, getting the menus up, and I was the manager. I had to do my meditation thing at 5:30 to be out the door, especially on Sundays when opening early. So I know, and believe me, I can tell you about many disciplines I've had that you realize that one is self-disciplined if they want to be. So from next week, 15 minutes in the morning have to be cleaned out, nothing else. And you say to yourself, what's more important, yoga, pranayama, meditation? Asana, pranayama, meditation. What do you want me to do now? You ask so much of me, practice my this, practice my that, and I was saying this, that, and the other. Eventually, what am I supposed to do? What do you think my answer is? Meditate. Meditate. And if 75% or 50% of that time, 50% of that time is pranayama towards helping you to meditate, then you're important because pranayama can help you. If you have a particular condition where you need to do some asana first to kind of still your body and ground you, do 5 minutes asana, 5 minute pranayama, 5 minute stillness. But that 15 minutes is sacred for you. Don't give it up for anybody. No, not yet. Go on.
Does it matter if the house is quiet, let's say an hour after you wake up? Would it make a difference if you do it then rather than the first thing?
I understand your logistical question. I understand, and that's a fair question because you might find it's a quieter time. What I worry about, and I'll ask you to make the decision yourself finally, but the reason why I say first is because in that 1 hour, anything can happen, right? And in that 1 hour, when you're dealing with whatever it is you're thinking about in your mind, before that quiet period comes, anything can happen. Any disruption can happen, and your meditation may not happen. So you work it out yourself, and I understand your logistical concern. But where possible, do it first, because then you're sure less bombs are going to hit your life. You might say, for example, you might have a commute to work that lasts an hour, but you know you normally have half an hour before the day gets busy, and you can maybe go into a quiet closet and meditate, so to speak. But then what if you get to work and suddenly the schedule's like this? Now, where's your meditation gone? I'm putting meditation on par with brushing your teeth. You don't think, oh, I'll just brush my teeth when I get to work. What kind of scum are you?
Would it be bonkers to want to get up at 4 a.m., do your meditation, then go back to bed, and then get up again? Because I'm always curious about this.
Yeah.
We all want the midnight purest time, get up.
Yeah. No, I would say probably it may not always be the easiest thing. Obviously 4 a.m., these times are known to be this dusk period where the energy is very neutral, and in India that's how they used to practice it, but life is different now. So I've never had a thing that people need to get up at 4 a.m. It's not like that. When you go and study in India, which you might have done with ashrams, they'll get you up at 4 a.m. and throw you in the shower. It's a different life. All I require of people is that they get up when they get up, but they set this time out. And if you want to get up and then go to sleep again, who knows what you'll wake up when you get up. The second time you might need to refresh again. You know what I mean? So you might as well sleep through and do it in the morning, I would say, if you had a choice of two things.
saying how, like, for example, if you're chopping vegetables quietly on your own.
I'm saying if you can't do the meditation proper, then do mindfulness. Correct? If you can't, and when she's saying chopping vegetables is not meditation, you are right, according to what I've said to you, right? Because meditation is inward, focusing on the self. But then mindfulness comes in where you can do anything with awareness and consciousness, especially if it's nature orientated and it's good for you. So if you can't do meditation, which is concentration on the soul or any aspect of the soul, exclusive of all the senses, no senses involved, that's meditation, then you can do mindfulness, which is open eye things. Awareness of your moment, awareness of your thoughts. We went through that in the last module. First of all, meditation, closed eye, internal concentration. Intensity over duration. Intensity over duration. Intensity over duration. Never forget that. Because you'll get a lot of people talking about, oh, they've done an hour meditation, they've done 2 hour meditation, so I went to this thing and we've done 5 hours. It means absolutely nothing if all you were thinking about was television or what the bullshit that goes on in your life. You can sit there for 5 hours and mull over your life. What's that? That's not meditation. Or you can sit for 20 minutes and go deep into your soul and come out better than spending 5 hours just wasting your time. Intensity, dive and dive deep. We don't have time to waste it. I don't have time to waste. This is why everything I do is all in or all out. Because if I'm there, I'll do it. Okay? If I'm going to dive, I'm going to try to dive the deepest I've ever dove, if that's a word, every time I dive. Is it a word? Divot.
Dive.
Did you say divot? That's even worse than dive, come on. Divot. Dive. My point is this. If you're going to do it, go hard or go home, as they say, yeah? So just the final tip on meditation, because we've got loads to talk about with it, is the time before you sit down to meditate is the most important. Why? Why? Just before you sit, why is it so important? Did you say determination? Yeah. In that time before you do your meditation, you should set your mind up with your intention. Don't be stupid people. You've all run massive projects in your lives. Every one of you. And every time you've done a successful project, you've determined what you wanted from it, didn't you? Didn't you have a brief and an aim and a statement and you knew what you wanted, then you done it? Don't just dump yourself in meditation. Right, let's see what happens today. Those 2 minutes before you meditate, you think, right, I'm going to do these 15 minutes and by the end of it, I want to be able to feel peaceful and silent. My nonsense monkey mind that jumps around this time, I'm going to nail it to the wall. I am not going to come out of this meditation without having at least 5 minutes of absolute mind control. And I am not going to fail this time. I'm going to do it. Here's a rough plan of what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit and do 5 minutes of Om Shanti, 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of pranayama. Right. You sit down, then you sit down on your mat. You have the picture of your whatever you want. If you do a prayer beforehand, or your candle, or whatever, or nothing, and you sit down and you say, right, I'm going to close my eyes now, and I'm going to meditate. And then you apply what techniques you learn, and then you go for it, because then your brain is ready. Your brain is fixed. Do you understand? Your head is fixed in a position to go, right, you're in my sights now. I know what I'm going to do with you. Let me attack you. And then you attack the ego and everything that's going to stop you, and then you meditate better. Those 2 minutes of determination before the execution will give you results. Don't just jump on the bicycle and see what happens. Apply. Chi Kri is a very traditional but a very modern system. In the sense we apply modern analogies and metaphors for living to yogic science. So if you're thinking of your meditation any different, and you think of any other successful project or thing you've managed in your life, you're thinking about it wrong. It's not magic, guys. See it like a project. See, right, here's what I want, here's the result, and then you can even evaluate afterwards. Not ego evaluation, which is, I didn't do good enough, bang, bang, bang. It's wisdom, you understand what happened, and you see how to correct it calmly and forgiving, with forgiveness. Take it seriously, and then you'll get results. And by the way, tomorrow will not be necessarily the greatest meditation you have because you've learned all this stuff. It takes time, to many, many months and sometimes years to get it to a place where you can sit down and you're there. It is also the most important thing we could do with ourselves. Let's control this. The most important, the most difficult, the most profitable is this. Is your management of this. Yeah? So though it may be difficult, put the time into it because it's the most important thing you'll ever learn in your life is control of your consciousness. Nothing beats it.